Thought I'd do a quick video on this just for, I don't know if anybody watches any of these things, and I don't even post half of them. So someday, whenever I die, my children and I have 8,000 videos to watch of me. Of course, they won't, but anyway, someday. All right, so this is really my first foray into epoxy. I had a lot of really joint gaps, different things kind of going on this piece of wood. Still have got a lot of work to do. But this is really the first time I've really kind of used epoxy to try to see if I can remediate stuff. I'm a little bit in some stages here, which is why I wanted to do the video for you. So I did put epoxy on. Kudos to the Racket Stack folks to turn me on to the fact that I used essentially my dye. So I was trying to fill in a bunch of gaps. And actually trying to do some filler work over here, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But the dye that I used was actually the dust from this walnut. So it basically took some stuff out of that bag. Been collecting it in a jar for a little while. Put it in the epoxy. And it actually has done a really good job. So had a bunch of cracks in this. Certainly some gaps in my jointery that I needed to fix. So Cheryl and I kind of did our little first foray in epoxy. Not a whole lot. I did probably too much, I would say. I did 2 tablespoons of the hardener, 2 tablespoons of the resin. It's a 1-to-1 mix. Mixed it up. 4 tablespoons is probably a little much for the gaps and cracks that I really needed to repair. But it ended up being fine. So we did that yesterday. Today is kind of working off the aftermath. Like I said, you can kind of see some various processes here. So a couple things just to kind of note out. One, it does a very good job of getting in the cracks. So that right here, you can see, you can't feel it, but I can. And the fact that that is perfectly smooth. You could probably look down the angle and see that there are no divots. There's some different lighting things going on. But this one here is a good example of the fact that it's, what I wanted to do, I did, which was make that perfectly smooth right there and then fill in any joinery work. So that worked fine. It does take about 48 hours to completely cure. I'm not even on 24 yet, but that's fine because you could work it after 24 hours. And at this moment, I kind of am getting through and sanding it. It is kind of rough to sand. I do have a chisel I was using, which was up here, I guess. But anyway, I guess it's over there. But I was kind of using it to peel some stuff up. So that was kind of my first foray, was just kind of coming through with a chisel, peeling it flat. Downsides of that, of course, is it did sort of peel up some of the spots where I was diving in. And I got me a big hornet over here I'm going to have to kill. Anyway, so do not like the hornets. They will light me up. Look at this. I got 2 of them. And I'm going to kill both. So you get to watch me kill hornets. That's always a plus. See if I can keep them getting stung. Anyway, sorry. They get in here, and I have still got a knot on the inside of my arm where one lit me up. Anyway, back to this. So there's still some gaps. It is, of course, a fluid. There's a couple spots I'm going to have to come back through that were a little deeper. The other thing I'm kind of spooked about was when I was doing the chisels, I saw these stains here, and I thought, oh my gosh, right, am I going to get those out? Well, the answer to that is yes, I can with the sander. I can get them out, and they look not bad at all. So this kind of here is a good example. Actually, on my phone looking, it looks a little deeper, but there's a good example of how you could sand these down to the wood, and you can't really see that epoxy. So there's a lot of sanding work to do to get that down, and so we'll be doing that, and then of course getting rid of the stains that it kind of left. Going forward, Racket Stack already told me how to get past this, and I should have listened to them, because going forward, what I will do is get some Johnson paste wax down and put it down, and that actually helps you get your stuff off a little easier. So they had told me that a couple weeks ago. This is a great example of one that had just some huge, it still has a little bit of gap there, but just had you know, some big cracks all the way around it. And look at that. I mean, beautiful. Still got more sanding to do, but now my jointery all looks professional and tight and like it should. It looks absolutely awesome. So more work on this to come. I'm sure I'll do a couple more videos. Got a lot of work to get this down, but just thought I'd kind of show you guys before it got all the way down. Like I said, in the various stages of bringing it down to where you can't really tell that it was put on. So there you go. Thanks.